Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of RSBANB Update Supplemental. I am Shane1288 from RSBANB Update. So this week, we are doing a supplemental, and we are back. That's probably one of the first things you've noticed is that RSBANB Update Supplemental is now every other week. This will be the usual course of affairs, unless we make a major revelation on RSBANB Update, or there's something major that needs a video discussion in RuneScape itself as a result of a game update or community change, or just something that the community has asked us to talk about in a very meaningful way. Alright, so the subject of this week's RSBANB Update Supplemental is herb farming. Herb farming was covered a long time ago by Chief Snake, and since then the methods have changed. The methods of getting around, the methods of actually carrying out the farming, the teleports have changed, and we can get larger yields now, and I'm going to talk a bit about that today. But before we do that, let me remind you all that RSBANB Update records on Fridays, and we would love to have your questions. So if you have a question for us, just head on over to the forums at rsbanb.com/forums and look for the global announcement. Or if you want to leave us an audio question, you can email them to questions@rsbanb.com or leave us a voicemail on Skype. The username is RSBANBUpdate. Okay, so herb farming. This is something that has been a pastime of mine for many, many years, and as you can see has resulted in, combined with other things, roughly 45 million plus farming experience. So the methods of herb farming really haven't changed in the fact that it's one of the simplest ways that you can train farming and results in a couple of nice side effects. The first one being all the herbs. This results in a large amount of money incoming, or that you can actually fund your own Herblore experience on your own. The second benefit, of course, is that you get to see the wonderful game world that we exist in nowadays. And the beautiful thing about herb farming is that we can go on pretty much any route with the exception of the start point, which I'll get to in just a little bit. So that is why I love this, and I do at least one herb run a day, and I try to do more. And if you're higher level farming, you can incorporate more things into this herb run, which I will mention at the end of this video. But until then, let's just get into what we need to go herb farming. So the first things that you're going to need are herb seeds. The standby that I always like to go and has become pretty much the most dependable kind of herb seed out there that I farm because it furthers my own Herblore training is toad flax. And that's, of course, because of the mighty Saradomin brew. You can look at other things too and base it off of the current prices on the Grand Exchange and your yield output. The average yield without the Juju Potion and the Green Fingers Aura, which I'll get to in a moment, is around 7. So use that when factoring your math for the Grand Exchange prices. The next thing that you'll need to perform this optimally is some form of the Ardoyan Cloak that allows you to teleport directly to that farming patch. You'll, of course, need an Ectophiel if you want to do the Port Phasmates teleport, a Law Rune, 2 Law Runes, and 2 Fire Runes for the Trollheim teleport, and an Elf Crystal teleport seed if you want to do the new herb patch in the Cruis area. You can also incorporate the Green Fingers Aura, which has the added benefit of ensuring that none of your farming crops get diseased while wearing it, and it also has a chance to slightly increase the yield of your farming output. You can also throw in optionally the Juju farming potions, which come from Herblore habitat. Well, it might seem kind of daunting to carry out Herblore habitat for the pure idea of herb farming. It is something that you should look into if you want to maximize profit and XP rates from your herbs. Alright, so let's begin. The first herb patch that we must go to because of its sheer distance away is Trollheim. And this is because I do not have the Livid Farm Trollheim spell, because I simply cannot stand what Livid Farm requires a person to do for oh so long in order to unlock the various spells and whatnot that allow for quick teleport to the Trollheim farming patch. So with that being said, I elect to run from the Trollheim teleport, as we're doing right now, all the way up to the disease-free Trollheim herb patch. And this is just a fair little run. It's probably the longest part of this herb farming run, but you know, it's a safe area and you can run through here, and it's really not too bad with the agility shortcuts. Alright, so let's just run through here and see what we have to do in order to get up to the roof. As you can see here, this area has always been graphically intensive for me, and compared to the rest of RS, and I don't know why. It's probably something to do with the lighting and the textures on the ground, but I've never really bothered to send in a bug report about that. Alright, so the first thing that we want to begin with is, of course, talking to our leprechaun friend and pulling out our magic secateurs and a super compost. Equip these because they do improve your yields. And finally, we want to activate our Green Fingers aura, which lasts for 20 minutes, as you can see right here. Then we'll have a sip of the farming potion, and off we go. And as you're seeing here, we are benefiting from the Green Fingers aura and the Juju farming potion in that we harvested double, and we also managed to secure a Torstal seed from using the Scroll of Life. Next place we're going to go is Port Phasmates, and that is the Ectophiel. This also results in a bit of a run, but it is just fine. Cows are always interesting. And as we go, we do want to note our herbs from the previous patch. So you can do that by just clicking use on them and then on the leprechaun, and that will note all of your herbs. Now we do seem to be having a little bit of a bug here where you click on the Super Compost Potion and it doesn't get withdrawn to your inventory in the first click, so you do need to click it a couple times right now. That is the wrong person. Little leprechaun. Next is going to be South Hardoyan. North Hardoyan, pardon me. And once again, Super Compost, please. Leprechaun. And next up, we are going to be using our Explorer's Ring to Cabbageport, which can be received from the Lumbridge and Drainer Village task sets, which is relatively easy to do, and is the only free-to-play task set out there. So if you're a farmer and you always want to frequent this area, it's definitely something that you should probably look at investing in. Alright. Next up, we have Lodestone to Catherby. And as you can see, we only have one patch left to go to, and we have not received the message that our Juju farming potion is about to run out, which means we are running perfectly right on time. And finally, the last and perhaps most rewarding farming patch is the Cruis herb farming patch, which you can get to through the standard elf teleport lodestone. Crystal seed, pardon me. And here we are, ready to harvest our final patch. And as you can see, we just got the notice, and that means we have 1 minute left on the potion. And we are done. And it is worth noting that if your potion runs out before you plant the seed, you are fine, because you only need the potion in order to gain the benefit of having an extra harvest from them. So as long as you harvest, you're fine. And as you can see, we finished, and we haven't even ran out of time on the potion yet. And I can only imagine what we're going to be talking about in a month's time, once we're able to extend the duration of these Juju potions by way of other features in the Elf City here. So it's very interesting to see the direction that farming's going with this, and it is something I am incredibly happy about. So as you can see here, here's the results of our harvest, and let's just have a quick look at what our prices are. 154k worth of Torstol for a seed. That's, I think I bought for about 45k, maybe 80k if you combine both of them. And then a bunch of toad flax here as well, which is also a nice price. And as you can see, the seeds definitely pay for themselves. And anything on top is just profit, or you can use it for Herblore and get insane XP from these high-level potions. So there you have it. That's how to farm. We might look at doing a tree run-through at some point in the future, depending on what the reception of this video is and how many of our favorite farmers are out there. But until then, we'll see you this week on RSBANDB Update. Remember to send those questions in if you have them. And if you liked what you saw here, please do feel free to subscribe, rate the video, and comment below. Tell me what your favorite herb to farm is.